All right, let's get into it.
Well, it's Friday adjacent.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. If you don't know by now, I'm John. That's Scott. Justin's over there on producer extraordinaire. And we're going to talk a little bit about everything.
And nothing.
At the same time. Yeah. Yep. A little bit of cigar stuff, a little bit of current events, a little bit of whatever we want to talk. And then we'll answer a couple questions you guys had. But yeah, we'll start off with I'm smoking a 762 Field Sumatra in Toro. Yeah, it is quite delicious.
We got the old 762, well, for now, the 762 Garrison Rosado in 660. However, we are starting to see some of our new packaging and bands hitting the market. So I'm curious, has anybody seen the new stuff yet?
Right.
So I know we've shipped a couple boxes to a couple stores and a couple orders over Black Friday for sure. Had some of the new stuff.
Yeah, we started getting into the new bands.
Yeah, we had a couple field 5.56 field ones, but on the new bands and boxes, the Garrison is losing the caliber designation, so it'll
just be the Garrison Corojo, the Garrison Rosado, and the Garrison Oscuro Maduro.
So you'll start hearing us refer to it as that, and it might be confusing, or not, or hopefully not.
Hopefully, it won't be confusing anymore once everything's switched to all the new packaging. We had a lot of confusion in the early years because we did our core line is we have our Field and our Garrison, but they're all calibers as well.
Yeah.
And so people would be like, "Oh man, I really love your 762," and I'm like, "Oh sweet, which one?" And they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like the Field or the Garrison? And they're like, "Yeah, the 762." I'm like, "The tan band or the shiny band?" They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck."
So now, if you say 762, 5.56, or 50, you're only going to be speaking about the field.
5.56 Field Connecticut, 7.62 Field Sumatra, and the 50 Field Maduro.
Yeah.
Yep. What are you drinking?
It's a Black Rifle Coffee's new zero sugar energy drinks.
How is it?
It's not bad. This is the Ranger Berry. Yeah. They have a red one. They have a white one.
And a blue one.
Well, the blue one's the one I'm drinking.
Yeah, and a red and a white.
Well, they have one more.
Oh,
they have 4 flavors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just red, white, and blue. I'm like,
that would make sense. But I can't remember what color the other one is or flavor. But yeah, I'm going to cycle through all of them, see which one I like the best, and support it. Because I drink an energy drink or 2 a day, and I'm giving money to some fucking corporation that I don't fucking know who it is. So I'd rather support Black Rifle.
I'm drinking an 18th Street Brewery. It's called a Dive Bar. It's a Berliner style Weiss with mango, pineapple, and vanilla beans.
Oh shit!
It's not what I thought it was going to be.
Is it good?
It's
got the coolest can.
That's why I picked it out.
I may have ever seen.
It's got an old school diver helmet on. Like I don't even know what that is. A creature with a rib cage. Like it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't know where we got that.
No idea. It's definitely not what I expected.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gin or scotch, where like I'll bet you if I drink 15 of those, I'll learn to like it. But right now I don't know. It's not because it's bad. It's just a very unique flavor.
Are you saying 15 of those?
No, just
consecutively?
No.
Okay.
Well, then I definitely do.
Yeah, then it doesn't matter.
Delicious. That'll happen after 3. Fuck. Right. But
drink the good stuff first. We talked about this in the last podcast.
That's it. Have your 2 good whiskeys and then switch to the Evan Williams and call it a day.
Yeah. If you have if you have your Jack Daniels or you have your really good whiskey that, make the really good one the first one you drink. You'll enjoy it more.
Well, that's why we have the Florida Cagna 18 and the Florida Cagna 7.
Right.
We start with the glass of the 18, then we switch to the 7.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though.
It's like starting fluid, and then you go to just
ether.
Get gas. Yeah.
Oh, I almost grabbed an empty whiskey glass. That doesn't work. But so we got some interesting things in the cigar world and current events.
Yeah.
It's interesting because everything in the government's about to change in less than a month. A little bit more than a month now. January 20th. But between now and then, the current administration is trying to push through a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, at least they're on par.
Yeah, but it's like, what's the end goal here?
Yeah.
Like everything that you're trying to, well, not everything that they're trying to push through, but a lot of things you're trying to push through right now, they're either not going to make it, it's going to be immaterial and not effective, or it's just going to be completely reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting next month.
Do you have any examples?
So, they're trying to push through something to where the manufacturers have to display the nicotine content of whatever the product is. Now, premium cigars probably going to be exempt just because of the definition and things like that. But they're talking more like cigarettes and chew. And
so we call ourselves manufacturers, right?
Yep.
Is the nicotine content in a cigar measurable?
In theory, it is. Is it something that cigar manufacturers do? No.
Is it measurable? How would it be measurable? I don't know.
You get a fancy machine that measures all the shit that comes out of it. The same thing they do with cigarettes and everything like that.
So like as it's burned?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. There's no like probe. Like, oh, that's a good one. I mean, that'd be cool. Yeah. I wonder if I don't know. I don't think that's possible. I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody smarter than me.
Well, and then, okay, say like cigarettes are easy, right? Because most cigarettes are all the same size, right?
Yeah.
So you can figure out the nicotine content in a cigarette and it's kind of uniform. What happens if you're doing a draw on a 660 versus a Minuteman?
So it'd be the same as how they, do all the testing on cigarettes and the tobacco products that they're currently, under regulation.
Yeah.
And there's the things that they were proposing that the cigar industry had to do in 2016, right, where, it was also somewhere along the lines of, I think they said it was between $350,000 and $450,000 per blend and size of cigar to get it approved by the government. Yeah. And so I think it's something along, in that process.
So the FDA would say what the content is.
I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know if it's a third party or what.
I'm trying to figure out how it would work. Like, is it the nicotine content per the whole cigar or per?
Yep, for the cigar.
Yeah,
for each size and blend, because they'll be different. Different tobacco leaves produce different amounts.
Definitely the sizes, right?
Yep, and the sizes affect the different. So there'd be a lot. But so that was one of the things. Like, they're trying to push that through, and it's like why don't you focus on something that's actually going to do some good?
Well, you probably have a bunch of people that are in positions in government that are trying to accomplish something before they get out.
Well, they're trying to secure their future funding from their donors. So they're trying to make good on all the promises they made before Trump gets in, and it's a fucking hard no on all the fuck games they're playing.
They don't have that job anymore.
Yeah,
so they're trying to put it on their resume.
Well, that and the majorities in the House and the Senate are going to be different.
Yeah.
So everything that they're proposing is going to go through a different process, but I think it ultimately comes down to money. It comes down to the donors from all these, people in government that are generating and making promises. Because these guys, there's no way that they're coming up with all these ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, you know what? I think today we're going to regulate this. Somebody else approaches and be like, hey,
gee, maybe
that's what do you think lobbyists do?
Yeah.
They're not there to, just go against what people are proposing. They're there helping getting things proposed.
Yeah.
That's the sole reason that big pharma is the way it is. Fucking lobbyists. It's bullshit. But, who knows if that's going to get fixed or not. Another one that it just got signed into law, and I'm intrigued to see how this is actually going to affect things. Half Wheel put an article out on December 6th. And then they just updated it recently as well. But the title of it is Congress Passes Bill Targeting Stolen Cuban Trademarks. Oh, yeah. And then the update is signed by Biden. So December 1st, Biden signed that bill. And so it is law now. It's a very short bill and it's kind of interesting. But essentially, what Half Wheel is saying is it adds language to an existing law that would prevent the executive branch in the U.S. court system from recognizing trademarks that were confiscated. What they mean by that, it was confiscated by the Cuban government when they came over and took over. So if the Cuban government took over or essentially stole a trademark from a company.
A Cuban company.
A Cuban company.
Right.
that the U.S. courts aren't going to recognize that anymore. That
Right.
it's a legitimate trademark because it was stolen. Which, I mean, cool, makes sense. Why was it pushed through and passed right now? No idea.
Yeah.
How is it going to affect things in the future? It'll be interesting. Like in the article, it says there's 27 Cuban cigar brands actively sold, most of which are also sold as non-Cuban versions in the U.S.
Yeah.
By Altadis in general. They're talking about like Monte Cristo, Romeo and Julieta, H-Up and stuff like that.
Cohiba.
Yeah.
All those Cuban names, right, that people associate. A lot of people that don't know cigars real well, they hear one of those names and they assume it's Cuban. And
But like a lot of these
And they're
big
not.
companies have acquired all these trademarks over the years.
Yeah.
And so they own the rights to all this stuff.
well,
Um,
yeah,
But because like I know General owns a shitload of trademarks,
Yeah.
even stuff that it's I don't know, not technically under their umbrella, but they're just
right.
But yeah, I guess this stuff's been going on for probably since the day it happened back in whatever the 50s or 60s. But how is it going to affect the entire industry? I don't really think it's going to do much, but it'll be interesting to see the first court case that gets brought up using this new law. I don't know.
Well, you're gonna have the Cuban government suing Cohiba USA or something.
Yeah, I guess. And then,
I don't know how else it would work.
and they're just going to be like, yeah, well, sorry, we don't recognize your trademark, so there's no infringement.
Yeah.
Yeah. A pretty open and closed court case, but still, like, that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Weird.
see. Yeah.
At least there's nothing. There's nothing Cuban about our company very much. So except for
Got the guy who runs a factory. That's it. Yep. Yeah, and we're super thankful that we have a Gonzalo. Though.
Yeah.
It's just an encyclopedia of cigar knowledge. It's insane. Justin, what questions you got?
So we got a question that came in from JP. He asked, "Do you guys ever take a routine break from smoking cigars?"
Ooh, not on purpose.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's usually not like I don't predetermine an amount of time for myself. I'm not smoking a cigar for 2 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think I have in the past,
Yeah.
but it's been like 2 days. Right. I've never like hated myself enough to say 2 weeks.
Right.
Now there's been 2 week stretches.
Yeah.
But it has usually when one of us gets sick.
Right.
Uh,
I was going to say, it's usually I'm either sick or I'm in the mountains hunting
yeah.
or scuba diving,
Right.
where I don't really have the time.
Right.
When I'm in the mountains, it's usually because it's 20 degrees and
Yeah.
windy. And the last thing I want is a cigarette right there.
Yeah. You still have to be able to enjoy.
And then I'm at 10,000 feet, so
Yeah.
I got to be able to breathe. Yeah. And then diving, it's really hard to smoke a cigar underwater. I don't know if you guys tried that yet.
You have. I've seen the pictures.
I do. I attempted it. It didn't smoke. But it surprisingly stayed together a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I will say though that like the last time I was in Colorado hunting, I think I went. It was either 9 or 10 days without a cigar.
Yeah.
And I was at 10, 12,000 feet the whole time. I think we were camping at 8,500, 9,000. Super clean air, super everything. So when we loaded up camp and we got back in the truck to start the drive back to Texas, we got over the pass, because we're on the west side of the Rockies. We got to the east side of the Rockies, and then we started, getting on the highway to, drive. And that's when I lit up my first cigar in 9 days. And it was a 556 Field Connecticut Corona. And it probably was one of the most amazing tasting cigars that I've ever had in my entire life, just because I was on such a clean palate.
Right.
But yeah, it was amazing. For 30 minutes, I was riding with, our buddy Will.
Yeah.
And for like 30 minutes, that was all I could. I'm like, this cigar is so fucking good. And he's like, will you shut up about that thing? I'm like, no, you don't understand.
But if you do not smoke a cigar, and most people aren't like us.
No.
Most people smoke a cigar every couple weeks, probably. Right.
Yeah, and even if they're like, you got some diehard cigar smokers, and they'll smoke 1 or 2 a day.
Yeah.
Very rare. You have more guys that smoke more than that aren't in the industry. Well, on average, your average smoker is probably smoking once a week, once every other week. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if you do smoke a lot and you quit, you will have a very fresh palate, and they do taste better afterwards.
Yeah.
So, for example, I usually go at least a day or 2 after every trade show.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. At least. Well, especially, yeah.
It's usually like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have COVID coming back, or you have whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucked last time.
Yeah.
Or was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
3. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely take a couple days off after trade shows. Even like when we do like UG.
Yeah.
Just because I'm probably smoked 12 cigars that day, you
Yeah.
know, and then 3 more the next morning.
Right.
And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't have anything. Yep.
I have a follow-on question for you guys. Y'all talk about having a clean palate. How long does it usually take for y'all to get to that clean palate?
Well, there's some like tips. There's like tricks you can do. With certain beverages or foods can help clean it.
I think when we say clean palate, though, when we're like talking about quitting for a couple days, I don't know if it's a clean palate as much as it is. I mean, it's a really clean palate, obviously, but I don't know I think there's more to it when you haven't smoked in.
Well, your taste buds, your sensory, parts, aren't overloaded,
Right.
So they're very fresh. They're very receptive, and I think that plays a big factor.
So okay, so let's, for your question's sake, let's say our palates are destroyed at midnight the first day of the trade show because we're on cigar 12,
Yeah,
right?
but I don't stop smoking till 4.
No, I agree.
And then I light my next one up at 8 a.m.
But you, right.
So
Yeah.
it's not clean.
but from like that much of a destroyed palate, how long until you're like, okay, I can taste a fresh cigar again, or I can distinguish cigar from this cigar, because I get to the point at midnight on the first day
they all taste the same.
where it doesn't matter what I'm smoking,
No.
unless you hand me like an acid or something that's completely a different flavor.
Right, that's infused.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I couldn't.
Hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't even blind taste our own cigars at that point.
Yeah, it's just smoke.
Yeah.
Like you might be able to tell a difference between like a mild and a full bodied,
Yeah.
but flavor profiles,
Yeah.
it's like there's the best and the worst part about the trade shows is just like, hey, this is our brand new XYZ cigar. You should try it right now. And it's like, hey,
Yeah.
give me 2.
Right.
Because I don't know. I'm going to smoke this one right now, and it's just going to be like, oh yeah, it's a cigar.
I appreciate it when customers say, "Hey, I'm going to save these, and when I get back,
I'm going to smoke them after
yeah.
I get home.
Yeah, like I appreciate that, like because then they actually, I feel like they want to pay attention,
Right.
Or
they do what I do, and they're still in my humidor.
Yeah.
So, no, I usually like, especially at the trade shows. I'll when I bring cigars back, I usually bring 2 different bags or 2 different storage locations, and one is just like, okay, here's all the random shit, and then this separate little bag, this is the stuff that I want to smoke as soon as I'm going to start smoking cigars, again. Because like we said, we take a couple days off after the show. But then I like to go back into those ones fresh. They had a couple of days to rest after Vegas because it's super dry.
Yeah.
And then my palate's, back to normal at that point.
I would say though 6 hours. 6 hours and not smoking, and then I can.
Wow, that's a shorter timeline than
it's
I would
pretty
have
quick
guessed.
because there's ways that you can cleanse your palate in between cigars.
Mm.
But like if you get that overnight, you've brushed your teeth, you've thrown a couple mints in, then by the next morning I can, if I'm not hungover to the point where I don't want a cigar, that next morning, that's when I'll try something I wanted know what it tastes like.
Gotcha.
But yeah, about 6 hours from
I did read that soda water is really good for cleansing the palate. But the same thing, like ginger's used
Yeah.
to, for it to cleanse the palate. There's a bunch of, things you can do, eat and drink that help.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately everybody's different. So, Scott saying 6 hours, it might be 8 for me. Justin might take a day, but who knows?
Yeah.
It's just keep smoking, keep trying. You'll figure it out. We've been doing it for a very long time now. So, we have lots of data points that we can look back at in our lives to be able to be like, oh yeah, nope, definitely wasn't ready for that cigar yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been smoking a lot less cigars lately though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. If I stick to like 1 or 2 a day, then I can appreciate those 1 or 2 more than if I do like 3 or 4 a day.
Yeah.
Because then it gets to the point where like I appreciate the first third of the first one,
Right.
and the last third of the last one, because it's like, ooh, my first cigar, and like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go to bed. Other than that, it's just like I'm working and smoking at the same time.
When we're smoking at work, I don't
No.
get much out of other than, I mean, I enjoy smoking a cigar, but I'm not like paying attention to
right.
flavors. And
I'm usually relighting it.
yeah, if I'm watching TV or just chilling, then I'll enjoy a cigar a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a whole backyard set up and a TV out there and everything, and now the weather's cold as fuck.
Yeah.
Like too cold to smoke.
Yeah, last night was the coldest night here in Texas.
Oh, it got cold.
Got down to like 27.
Yeah. It got,
It's bullshit too. You got some Minnesota guys
I know.
here, and they're like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. Like I think they said it was like 13 this morning when they left for the airport.
Yeah. I had frost on my windshield for the first time this year.
You guys got snow up there yet? Just a dusting.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, that's not bad for December 11th.
I know, right?
It's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's this year makes, well, let's see, January will be 6 years that I haven't had to shovel snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Not one bit. Not at all. I like when I see that it snows other places because I can call people that are there and I'm like, hey, did you shovel your driveway yet? And they're like, fuck you. Like, yeah.
Well, John knows when we lived in Nebraska,
We didn't shovel.
yeah, we had 4-wheel drives and we parked on top of the snow.
And then it melted.
Yeah.
Because it never hung out long enough.
It did, but like
Maybe
I didn't care.
5 days.
Yeah.
But
there was people though, it would be actively snowing out and there'd be people sweeping the snow off their driveway.
everything.
And it's like, it's still snowing. Like, why?
I still think we should have got that flamethrower and showed the neighbors up.
Yeah.
For a cute snowblower. Well,
But one of the last times I was supposed to, when we were moving down here, I was supposed to come down with the load and it snowed so bad that our trailer had like
oh yeah.
I had a 5-foot drift that I couldn't get
We
the
had
trailer out
a
of.
20-foot enclosed trailer that half of it was buried in a snowdrift.
Like,
I call Scott. I'm like, you on the road? And he's like, nope. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, trailer's buried. And I'm like, what? And he sends me a picture. I'm like, shit, I'll go see you next week.
yeah.
I don't miss that. One of the trips we drove through that snowstorm, that got a little dicey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was the same trip I ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I haven't done that drive again since then.
Doing it next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, you said we had another question too?
We did. This one comes from Jacob. He said, if it's possible, how can you sharpen a cutter?
Well, I suppose you can sharpen anything if you're determined enough.
Yeah.
Skilled enough. But
The easiest way. So like if you get like Zycar or Calibri, a lot of those companies, they warranty you their cutters,
yeah.
including getting, the blades getting dull.
Like, I don't know how you would sharpen that.
You would have to take it apart, pull your blade out, figure out a way to mount it, get the right angles, and then put your edge on it.
Yeah.
But the downfall is the way that it's made. It's a V, specifically that one, and it'd be really hard.
But if you weren't
And even on these,
perfect,
being a curved blade, so essentially they have a machine that does this.
Yeah.
So the best way
as their manufacturer.
Yeah, the best way to do it is you hit up whoever the manufacturer of your dull cutter is. Then you say, "Hey man, I bought this cutter from you guys and it's dull."
Yeah.
And just leave it at that and see what they have to say. I know Calibre and Zycar will warranty it, and you send it back to them and they either replace the blade or sharpen it or whatever they do to make it back to new. If it's a different brand besides those, you have to reach out. But some of the $10 plastic cutters,
You're not.
Just go get a new one, man.
They're disposable.
They're not designed for that. And even like the more expensive ones, those blades aren't designed to be sharpened. They're just designed to be replaced. It's not like a pocket knife where it's like, oh, I got this pocket knife for 40 years. But I just keep sharpening it. No.
Yeah. And I think it depends on the steel and stuff that the blades are made out of. And you can tell the difference. Like our what is it, our M8 cutter versus like one of these cheap, $10 cutters.
I have an M8 cutter that I've probably cut.
They use good steel on that one.
I've probably cut
just
5,000
awesome.
cigars with that.
Yeah.
I've had it for years, and I've done all the different events and all kinds of shit, and it cuts just like, compared to a brand new one out of the box, I have to apply a little bit more pressure.
Yeah.
But it's still sharp as fuck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider that a dull cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's an easy way.
I know that there's some cutters that they're more like custom, for lack of better words, smaller companies, but they're really nice, higher end cutters that they're designed that you can remove the blade and sharpen it.
Right.
But that's not like Calibre Zycar, not the mass produced stuff. That's, these guys are making it in their garages and machine shops.
I'm surprised nobody makes a straight cut.
That uses like a razor blade.
Yeah. Or like a replaceable.
Right? It makes sense.
Because if you could slide it in at an angle, like having a razor blade might work.
I could totally see Milwaukee just killing the game at that. Just the bright red cigar
right?
cutter.
Yeah.
I have a follow-on question to that one too. What are the different ways you've had to cut a cigar when you didn't have a cutter with you?
Oh God.
I
We've
know
go
y'all
on
got
for
some-
days.
Well,
I know
we've
y'all
done all
got some
kinds of
stories.
stuff.
Yeah, most of it's been for stupid videos.
We've cut them. We've used a 9mm, a 6.5 Creedmoor,
The samurai sword.
Axes, hatchets. But my mouth, I bit, I don't know how many cigars.
Yeah.
What else have we
I mean,
used?
like none of those are practical. Those are all for videos that we did.
But yeah, they were
to be
just
funny.
asking what we've used.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used all kinds of random,
But if you go to Nicaragua, most people down there that smoke cigars,
they bite it or use their finger.
Yeah, they don't have cutters.
No. And they use Bic lighters. They use
Yeah.
fancy butane torches.
Yeah, like you pinch the cap off. And that's it. Yeah.
Yep. It's and it's funny too. By the end of the week, when you're in Nicaragua, pinching at and using a Bic lighter is like second nature.
Yeah.
And then when you get home and you use like a fancy cutter and a fancy lighter,
Yeah.
you're just it's so much easier just to use a Bic.
Yeah. Like $50 for a cutter for a Nicaraguan worker.
Yeah,
That's-
that's like, or I pay my rent this month.
Yeah. It's too easy just to pinch it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Priorities are different.
yeah.
But it's like that in most third world countries, almost anywhere in Central America.
Yeah.
You look around and you look at people in America, and it's like whatever little trinket they can buy,
Yeah.
they did,
Right.
whether it's functional or not. And then
Yeah.
you go down to Central America and you look around, and it's just like, oh yeah, they don't have Amazon.
Yeah.
I can't get this same day. What?
Now, do I prefer a cutter? Yes, because
Yeah, I prefer Amazon as well.
Yeah. You know, when you pinch it off or bite it, right? You get little, you're pulling it apart, so it kind of can come undone a little easier. And
Mhm.
you get
A little piece of tobacco in your mouth
Yeah.
sometimes. And,
you know,
yeah.
but
We get used to it.
is it a big deal? No.
You figure out how to do it proficiently after about, I don't know, 15, 20 cigars. Yep. Then it works easy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What other interesting things that we use to cut? I know we used a magnifying glass to light it once. So we've used suppressors on machine guns
Yeah.
before.
We should recirculate some of those old videos.
Yeah. Or redo them now that we have an actual cameraman.
Well, we don't have machine guns anymore, but
Oh, yeah. I don't need a machine gun to heat up a suppressor.
that's what made the videos fun.
I have access to machine guns. This weekend, actually.
Taking the camera.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah.
Are there any ways y'all want to experiment, like ideas you've had of like, oh, cut a cigar this way, light a cigar that way?
We were going to light a cigar with a flamethrower that shot a flame 60 feet.
And then we were around said flamethrower, and we're like, that is a terrible idea.
That's a bad idea.
Because there's heat coming off of it, even if the flame doesn't touch it.
I was more worried about the
insane.
flavor.
I think
It
it's,
would have tasted so bad.
I think it's a great idea. I just don't want to be the one holding the cigar.
I'll hold the flamethrower. Somebody else can try to light it.
See, as long as I'm not holding the cigar, I have to hold the camera. Sorry, my hands are full.
I would do it. I would do it, but I'd have to have a Woody, right? One of those cigars that's like,
3 feet long.
3 feet long. I could, I would.
That's the only way.
That's the only way.
And even then,
No, what would
I'd have
happen?
to hold it on a stick.
As soon as you touched it to the flamethrower stream, it would rip it out of your hand, probably.
Either that or it splat the flame. The stream would splash on you.
Yeah, because
No.
it's liquid coming out of
Yeah,
there. It's
I'm all
not just
set.
fire. So, yeah, I don't know. Not a good idea.
No, it was good in theory until we saw it. They were
Yeah.
like, nope,
Yeah.
nope.
Got to get one of those. What I don't know what material they're all silver. The guys that like walk super
the
close to
volcano
volcanoes.
suit?
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
gotta get one of those. Just like, all right, I'm ready.
Yep.
The fireman suit.
Yeah, they wear the shit that the guys in the foundries wear. Yeah. Any weird ways to cut or light my cigar?
I mean, the 6.5 one was kind of cool because we did a V cut essentially
At 100
at
yards.
100 yards. Like,
Yeah,
that was
and then lit it with the machine gun.
yeah, that was pretty fun. The 9mm one.
That was cutting yours.
Well, I
You held it. And I shot it.
Yeah. I just held it over and John shot the end of it off.
That was the one that like we thought of it and we were both kind of like, okay, we'll just be really safe. And then we did it and we were like, okay, I'm glad we only did that once.
Yeah. It didn't look that safe, and we caught a little hate for that one.
Now how we actually did it was 100% safe.
Yeah, because I was
It was angled.
I was behind the pistol, angling
it forward, and
Yeah.
nothing. There was no flagging. Nothing got done.
Yeah. But on camera, it looked
It
looks
looked so bad.
and it wasn't the best cut.
No,
It flayed.
it grenaded.
Yeah.
The 6.5 was a great cut.
Yeah, that was perfect.
And then the interesting part of that, which the cigar was positioned on a target stand at 100 yards, and Scott was at the shooting bench shooting our long range gun at it, and I was about 20 feet off to the side filming. But I know how well Scott shoots. I'm not worried. Like I would have held this cigar for him.
Well,
to cut
you
it.
could have. I literally,
He's just barely like.
Yeah.
That rifles, I'm not worried. Pistols, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Well,
shotguns. Keep that shit away.
oh no. I mean, I could probably cut it if you throw it. If you threw it up in the air, I could probably
If you threw it in the air and I had the shotgun, the cigar would be the safest place.
100%.
For some reason, I'm not.
No, it doesn't work that way. I don't know why, but it doesn't.
It's like 03 fighting Iraqis. The safest place to be was where they wanted to hit.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just don't move, and you won't run into
Yeah.
their bullets.
As long as they're aiming it or trying to hit you, you're in the safest spot. But that lasted until about 06. Then they got to, all the shitty ones were no longer there. So,
They expired.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I'd like to do for cut or light.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll think of some stupid shit. We'll
Yeah.
probably film.
Yeah, if you guys have ideas, let us know and maybe we'll film it.
Even if you don't think it's possible, we might be able to figure out a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the weirdest way you ever cut or lit a cigar?
Ooh.
You're probably a pretty basic white girl.
I pretty much am. I've definitely there was before I started working at Warfighter, I had taken some cigars to get some pictures for y'all. And y'all were just like, fucking enjoy the cigars. And I was like, cool. I didn't have a cutter though. And I was like, I really want a cigar though. So I took out my dull ass pocket knife and just fucking destroyed the cigar.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, I can't waste it. So I sat there and it smoked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I put that first bit of pressure, I was like, this was a mistake. I should have just gone by
The trick to using a knife,
Mm-hmm.
right, is you can't set it down and saw it this way.
So
You literally have to take it like you're peeling an apple and just very lightly cut a circle around the cap.
Yeah.
And then you just peel it off. You don't try to cut through it. It'll never work.
Yep. That's what I did it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And if you have a dull knife, even that's sketchy.
Yeah, that'll destroy it.
Oh.
Yeah. You're better off just
Just
pinching a little hole
picking
with
at
your
it?
fingernails or
Yeah.
biting a little hole in it.
I got told about that trick. Like if you don't have one, you just find the cap and you just like pick at it with
Yeah.
your nail and it just comes
Try to
right
pick
off.
it
And I
right
was just
off.
like, oh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And then as far as lighting it, I'm a basic
It's
bitch.
whatever.
It's the one thing I've always had is a lighter.
Yeah.
But
I'll
Yeah.
use, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Except for I try to stay away from lighter fluid.
Yeah.
Uh,
But people that are like, oh, I only light my cigars off of a cedar.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, then you really don't want to smoke cigars very often.
So you want your cigar to taste like cedar now? Okay.
Yeah, like not practical when I'm driving,
nope.
you know? Yeah. And if I want a cigar, I don't give a shit.
It doesn't
it's
matter
lighting.
how I light it.
Yeah.
I just need it lit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, the magnifying glass, that actually worked. That was interesting.
I used a toaster one time to light my cigar.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I
Ooh.
could find in the fucking
Uh,
cabin I was in.
I used a gas grill, like a burner from
Yeah.
a stove inside somebody's house,
Right.
and lit it real quick with the fan and ran out. Suppressors. I've used random lighters,
Yeah.
matches.
When
I used a stick from a campfire once. Yep,
ooh,
that was good. That was just because I was lazy. My lighter was inside. I didn't want to walk in, so I was just like, "Fuck it."
when y'all did the magnifying glass, was that because y'all didn't have a lighter or was it for like a video?
It wasn't out of necessity.
It was. We were gonna do a video, and then we did it to make sure it worked. It worked, and we never ended up doing a video. And
Oh.
then so Scott has this magnifying glass like this hanging around somewhere. I don't even know where it is. I haven't seen it in a while.
How long did it take to light it?
It was actually pretty quick.
Really?
Once you got like
The right spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Because I remember doing that shit to like ants when I was a little kid.
Oh.
So, but it took a
So
while.
I dove with a guy when I was on that liveaboard. One of the guys in the crew, the night watch, Rusty, and he has this massive magnifying glass he dives at night with, so he can like see all the little things.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if you hold that and you shine your flashlight and you get at the right angle, you start roasting, start cooking crabs and shrimp and stuff while you're underwater. I'm like, I don't think it works that way, but it'd be
I
cool.
think it's UV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if you could do that with a flash.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was like, I was like, do you dive with that when it's sunny out? And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, do you ever burn anything? Like accidentally? He's like, no.
It'd be harder to do underwater.
Mm-hmm. Much harder. Yep. Yeah. That would be pretty fun though.
You want to touch on any current events?
Like the actual stuff that's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, we can if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, we got Daniel Penny. He got acquitted, I guess, or I don't know what you call it.
Found not
Yeah,
guilty.
found not guilty.
Yeah. So that was a good thing, right?
Mhm.
Fellow, or not a fellow Marine, but a fellow veteran.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It still baffles me how long it took them to come to that conclusion of not guilty. Because
Yeah.
that happened in like early 23 or something, right?
Well,
It was
yeah.
like damn near a year ago or something.
Yeah. But that's any court case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was interesting though, because they charged him with one thing,
Yeah.
and then the jury came back and with a split decision, and then the judge was like, "Hey, go do that again. You guys are wrong." And the jury came back again, and we're like, "No,
Yeah.
but it's still a split decision." So that got thrown out, and then the judge came back and was just like, "Okay, so how about this? Try him with this lesser charge."
Right.
And that's not really how this works.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God they found him not guilty, and but still, and now he's subject to a civil suit and all that.
Did you see I think it was I don't know, somebody posted, but how they didn't have any pictures in the courthouse, but they had the drawing.
Yeah,
And the drawing was of the jury, and one jury member had a mask. And so the picture was, this is the one person that's that's holding out, like, oh, it's kind of funny.
And it's interesting to listen to the news, because there's different viewpoints, and there's no real like, oh, he's a vigilante and what he did was right. Obviously everybody's condemning the fact that he murdered someone, like,
Yeah.
but it is bringing up some talking points about the fucked up healthcare system we have in this country, that it is ranked number 1 and most expensive in the world.
Oh, this is not the Daniel Penny case now.
What?
That's Luigi Mangiano. Is the healthcare. Daniel Penny was the
Yeah. I started with Daniel Penny,
Yeah.
and then I switched halfway
Yeah.
through.
No,
My
yeah.
bad, guys. Thanks for catching that. Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, the healthcare guy, the CEO that got murdered.
Okay, so let's get back to Daniel Penny then.
All right.
Sorry, I don't know why my brain transitioned to that.
I thought I missed.
No,
the
because
jump.
I was
like,
I was on the right.
Well, it's
I
because
was on the right track in the beginning. Then I got derailed. For a
the
second.
news was, it's simultaneous stories, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Daniel Penny is the dude that applied a chokehold in a subway in New York City.
Yeah.
Which is so weird that both of these have happened in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cool thing with Daniel Penny is, as soon as they let him out of the courtroom, him and his lawyers went around the corner to a bar and got beers.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, as soon as I got done, the guy's like, I need a fucking beer right now.
Yeah.
do y'all think everything that's gone on with that case will like kind of change culturally? Like if someone's going to step in a case like that?
I think if he would have been found guilty, it would have
Yeah.
changed a lot more.
But because he was found, but even like with the long process and
I
everything.
mean, what a pain in the ass. Like, it's something you have to be aware of if you're going to step into a situation.
I mean,
right?
ultimately, the process is out of anybody's control.
Yeah.
You're at the mercy of the judicial, the
Yeah.
legal system in this country.
Yeah.
And it's not fast, no matter what you try to
Yeah.
do with it.
Like even if it was completely self-defense, right? Like, you still have to know that it's not over.
You're still
like,
going. You still have to prove your case.
Yeah, you changed the course of your life,
Yeah.
in that moment for
Yep.
however long it's
Well,
going to take. So
Now the interesting part about both cases that I was talking about is ultimately, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty.
yeah,
I don't believe that's true anymore. I don't believe that they are treated as they're innocent, as they're in custody, preparing for their
Yeah.
trial, like you're supposed to be. You
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong, right? We have to prove that you did something wrong,
right.
But they're not treated that way,
Yeah.
because and now it's the court of public opinion. So the more people that get upset, they think it's going to sway the outcome of the jury.
Yeah.
But
and
like this case, for instance, there were protesters that were out there, and they could be heard in the courtroom.
yeah,
Like, that's ground for a mistrial. They're influencing the jury.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Thankfully, that came back, but still, like, how do you control
Well,
that?
and the thing is, I don't think there was anybody at the scene when it happened. Like, there was a bystander that's like, oh, he
Yeah, right.
he was in the wrong.
Yeah.
I think everybody was like, oh yeah, he saved us. But
I was in fear for my life.
yeah. So I don't know. Charges probably shouldn't have even got brought.
Well, you got to think, who's the DA that brought him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll be interesting to see. Now, let's go to the second part of the case, the dude who marked the healthcare CEO. it'll be interesting to see if and when the extradition gets approved to transfer him from Pennsylvania to New York.
Yeah.
And then Alvin Bragg
Yeah.
again is going to be the one filing charges and prosecuting.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, how's this going to go?
Well, that one's
he hasn't had a good track record with the past couple major cases he's done.
no,
you know?
but that's been that one's a little more clear cut. There's a video of him assassinating that dude. So
yeah, but
like
so now here's going to be the interesting part.
Supposedly it's him.
Here's going to
Well-
be that's the best part too. But the interesting part is when they try to establish motive
yeah, but you don't.
and the cat gets let out of the bag of why he did it. Will anything be released about it?
But do you have to have motive to be found guilty?
It depends on what they're trying to charge him with. If it's premeditated, then
Well,
yes.
second degree murder is the charge right now, and I don't know the definition of that compared to first degree. But I was
And each state is different, so we got to look it up.
I was
State of New
wondering,
York.
why it wasn't first degree, because first degree is premeditated murder, and that looked fucking
Yeah.
premeditated, right? Like I 3D printed a gun,
But they don't want to charge him with something that they don't think they can make stick.
yeah, I get that.
And so it might be
Which goes back to this. Okay, so why don't they want to charge him with something? Because
of double jeopardy. If I charge you,
but look at the Daniel Penny case, right?
that's why it shouldn't have fucking happened. That's why I was so mad about it.
Right.
Because it's not
Yeah.
that's not how the system
I mean,
works.
no, you can just change the charges at the time. No, John,
No. We don't try to go for a lesser charge after the fact.
I just saw it
That's
happen.
called double jeopardy. That's illegal. But there's judicial immunity,
Right.
and you can't like it. Yeah, it gets me going. But yeah, so if they charge him with first degree murder and they can't get it to stick, that's it. They can't go back and try second degree afterwards.
Yeah,
They're not supposed to be able to go back and try second.
in theory. Yeah.
And that's I don't understand. Maybe it was one of those they were waiting to see if they were going to find him guilty on the lesser charge for the Daniel Penny case, and then they were going to fucking hammer him and get him off
Yeah,
because you can't do it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they just were like, hey, hey, whatever, go ahead, see what you can do with that.
Oh. Right.
I don't know,
Yeah.
because it's a good strategy for the defense to be like, oh, they just shot themselves in the foot. Even if they find him guilty, we're all set. So, but I don't know. I don't know how that process works. I just know the loose roundabout ways of that law.
Yeah.
I think being a lawyer would have been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I've been noticing there's a bit of a trend going around on social media of people taking pictures of themselves and photoshopping Luigi Mangiano or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
He was
thanks
with
for
me.
helping me with this on this date from this time to this time. Like,
I did see a dude on TikTok this morning. He did a Luigi workout, and he followed the path that Luigi went through New York
Yeah.
while he when he shot him. When he got on the little thing, got on the subway, went through Central Park, did the whole thing. But like when he got on the subway, he's like, now I'm going to do some pull-ups. And he did pull-ups in Central Park. He's like, oh, I'm going to drop my bag because it's a little heavy. And, I'm about to do some really physical stuff. And it was really funny. Like he walked through the exact same way everywhere that he went. And, yeah, I was just like, man, what a fucked up world we live in right now.
Or the people who are posting the Pfizer CEO saying, leave this guy alone.
yeah, definitely don't get this guy.
At this address at this time.
Yeah. Who usually gets home around this hour. Like, the internet is undefeated.
It reminds me of the ones that people are like, when Trump gets in, I really hope he doesn't deport my mother-in-law who lives at blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, and is home every day at 6 p.m.
What else we got?
What were you saying, Justin?
Well, I don't know if it's real. I'm looking it up right
Oh.
now, but it probably isn't. But I saw a picture and it was a tweet from Burger King that says, "We don't snitch." I was like, this is some Wendy's level shit. I don't know
Right?
if Burger King's got it in them.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
would you be able to pick that dude out?
Dude, that's,
What
I don't
mean?
think so. I think he could have walked into here and been our only customer for the day.
Yeah, I
And
probably would have sat down and be like, "Oh, you're from out of town? Hey, let's have a smoke."
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, but if it was a McDonald's employee who did point him out, I'm standing to my guns that they weren't working hard enough in McDonald's to notice that person.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, get back to work. What are
Right.
you doing? These fries aren't going to fry themselves.
No, not at
Come
all.
Yeah. And I hear, people are like, oh, people shouldn't be praising this guy, if he's a vigilante or whatever. Well, I kind of agree with that.
I wouldn't say that he's a vigilante.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think that that's the case. I think he is trying to do single-handedly what BLM tried to do when they originally started their nonprofit, which is awareness.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think that was it. And I think that was, in his mind, that was the only way that he could get national attention on this matter that is legitimately a fucking matter.
Who do you think killed more people, Luigi or the CEO?
Indirectly, the CEO. But just based on business decisions that he made.
I guess I don't know for sure, but
Well, you got to think, if they're making a decision to make more profit,
yeah.
they're hurting people.
Yeah.
They can't make more profit and save more people.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
so yeah, but I mean, am I a healthcare expert? By no means.
Does it justify him in directly killing the CEO?
No, murder's illegal.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter unless you're a rapist or a pedophile. You probably shouldn't murder them.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know this. I don't know what the guy did. Did he deserve it or not? But either way,
Right.
it's not my decision to make.
Yeah. Or his.
Or his. So, like, should he been murdered? No.
Right.
Will it hopefully bring some attention to the subject that he tried to bring attention to? Well, hopefully, because if not, it'd be a waste.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But did he have to do this to get it? Oh, I don't know.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. How else would he have got national news attention on every major platform? Like,
Yeah. Well, he threw his life away to make some kind of a point.
yeah.
I don't
I did see that he got, I guess he had like some sort of a back injury and had to get surgery. And they're thinking that might be where his distaste for the healthcare industry came from.
Yeah. Oh, the healthcare industry. I like that.
Yeah.
It's not really a system.
Oh no, it's the healthcare industrial complex.
Yeah.
Just like the military industrial complex, identical.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing. It is a for-profit entity that doesn't care about the outcome. The military industrial complex doesn't care about winning wars. They care about being in them.
Yeah.
That's it. They just want to be in them. And however they can. U.S. boots on the ground or just our U.S. companies sending weaponry to another country.
Yeah.
It's all the fucking same. Same thing in the healthcare industry.
Yep.
Yep. We don't care if we fix people. We just got to send more products. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys said that he got caught with the gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That baffles me.
Me too.
Absolutely baffles me.
Like that should have been real high on his priority list
Yeah.
to get rid of, I would think.
And it's not like he didn't find places to get rid of it.
Nope.
He could have left it on the body and been better off.
Because like,
Or just, I mean, anywhere. Like, now,
Yeah.
NYPD had divers in the lake in Central Park.
Even still, it's not in his possession.
No, I know. I agree.
That's crazy.
But like, okay, so you have divers in Central Park. Manhattan's an island. There's a lot of other water.
Yeah.
All in any direction you want to go in. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever.
he could have thrown it in a fucking dumpster. Like in the first dumpster that he saw.
Yeah.
I have my theory, but I'm not going to say it because I want to keep that. I've said it off air.
All right.
And I'm going to leave it at that. But there's, I don't know. I think there's things that you could do, hypothetically, if you're in this situation, and that firearm held sentimental value to you, that you could
Yeah.
still maintain pieces and parts of it that are untraceable. But it still won't be a functional firearm. But then again, like, why take something bougie to go? You know you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious how they would have been able to like prove it. Like would it would have had to been DNA because the whole video fingerprints.
Yeah.
Well, they
like,
already have fingerprints on the scene from him.
They did get fingerprints. I always just assume like if you're gonna kill someone, you load the gun with gloves on. Like, does that not?
Well, you either
I've seen enough
you're either gonna
movies.
get away with it or you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you and your planning process that's involved in it. You know, like if you don't want to get caught, then you do things to not get caught.
I'm pretty sure a fired casing won't have fingerprints on it, but I could be wrong.
You could get a partial, probably.
I don't know.
off the
I think
grass.
it burns it off. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is if somebody breaks in your vehicle, it's really hard for them to get fingerprints.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we've probably done this long enough.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Keep an eye out for the new packaging, new bands, new boxes. Still the same great cigar. We just gave it a facelift. That's it.
Yep.
No change in the blend. No change.
it'll
in
slowly
tobaccos.
trickle out there. So
Yep. As we go through the old stuff, the new stuff will replace it. Yeah, so if you guys listen to this now, it is well before Christmas. So for your last minute stocking stuffers or Christmas gift needs, go to warfightertobacco.com. If it's after the 18th, that is our cutoff for shipping. So you have to order the 17th. We ship the morning of the 18th, and it should get to you according to the post office.
we don't guarantee it because we don't run the post office.
The only thing that's guaranteed is priority mail express. So you're spending about $45 for a package to get there within a day or two.
Our guarantee to the customer is that we will get it into the post office's hands.
Yep. Immediately. Within
Yeah.
24 hours of your order,
That's-
unless it's on a weekend.
Right.
After that,
After that, there's
Jesus take the wheel.
Yep. So
Inshallah. Yeah, if it's after or close to the 18th, we do have gift cards available too. They're digital. They show up in your email. All you got to do is print them and throw them in a stocking.
Yep.
Good to go. Or, wrap them in a 40 by 40 by 40 box and screw it shut, super glue and concrete and all that. I mean, however you want to package, but stocking works great too.
but it's instant.
Yeah. Yep. You'll receive it right away.
If you do put it in a 40 by 40 box, please
Yes.
video the person opening
Tag us.
it.
Send it in. We
Yeah.
want that. Yep. Yeah. Well, cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
And
See y'all next week.
yep.